My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Virgos. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general reading of past, present, future, 9 card spread. I'm going to be using the regular tarot to clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and draw 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, the general card is the 3 of Swords. Let's look at the first row. So your past, you get the 10 of Wands, King of Cups reversed, 4 of Pentacles. Okay, this is interesting. Yeah, it looked like that you were incredibly burdened because, you pretty much felt like, you were stuck doing a lot of hard work with the 10 of Wands. Eventually you did get stability, but there was also kind of lack of intuition and clarity regarding, if you were ever going to get stability in the past or not. Well, the thing is, nothing worth having comes easy, and the problem is hard work. Yeah, the thing is, hard work is there for a reason because, it's like sometimes, you feel like, you're doing so many tasks, obligations, responsibilities in one go, and you pretty much just feel incredibly burdened, but you know how important it is to keep going despite, feeling like, my senses or intuition are not there. It could also be, that you're doing a lot of hard work, but you feel no kind of motivation or inspiration as well. But yet, in the end, you did get some kind of like stability and stuff like that. It was probably not something that you really wanted, unless it does resonate that you did want. But yeah, I mean, as long as you did have some kind of stability in the past, that's important and crucial for any kind of like, well-being and stuff like that. Because, it's better than, yeah, just feeling like, okay, I'm not doing anything. There's clarity, but there's no kind of balance or structure or any kind of stability afterwards in any way. Well, okay, we're going to have to keep going. Because current times, you do get 5 of Wands. This is all about conflict and competition. You can have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or more Earth placements. So, but you do start off with 5 of Wands. 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, this is, leaving poverty behind. And yet, you do get the Sun reversed, a Leo card. You can have Leo. But the thing is what I'm kind of getting here is, there could be a current battle or something. I mean, I'm not really getting per se battle. I mean, unless it's a legal battle. I mean, I know that there's this one Virgo that's kind of dealing with a Leo, I'm not going to go into genders or who it is, but I've actually come across, during, one of my evening walks, when I actually heard, because my hearing is quite well, but I actually heard, a couple of these humans were talking about that there's kind of a conflict situation taking place. But, the 5 of Wands could also be competition. It could also be that you're heading towards like maybe an audition. Maybe you're trying to actually, send in the best resume possible. It actually helped you out. You got out of some kind of, financial problems and stuff like that. But yet there was no kind of clarity or any kind of positivity out of the whole situation. Okay. Well, the thing is, it's like just because, you didn't achieve this grand, achievement doesn't mean that the sun won't be shining for you in any way. But it could also be, that maybe, it's like, yeah, it's something, that you pretty much still have to process through it. Because, when you're actually, when you've overcome, some kind of like competition or something, when you actually, will beat somebody and you actually, got some kind of reward or you've left some kind of poverty situation, it could also, will be in the end that you pretty much are still, will processing the whole, the whole, conflict and competition. But in the future, you do get the Moon, a new voyage, the World upright, and Page of Swords. Okay, I see actually you heading out into this world, but I see so much ambition. Because the thing is, it's like whatever, you're dealing with currently, with, the 5 of Wands, it looks like that you are leaving some kind of poverty situation, and it's giving you the resource to go out on this new kind of path and voyage. Because if you look at this tiny squiggly path, that's kind of where you're going to be heading down towards, because the moon is pretty much lighting its way for you, and it's pretty much helping you actually get out into this world. I mean, you could have, even Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius sign somewhere in your star chart, but I see you incredibly ambitious and goal-oriented with this Page of Swords. Wow. Okay, I want to do some clarification. I mean, the thing is whatever contributed to you actually overcoming some kind of financial problems or loss, my beloved Virgos, kudos and congratulations. Wow. Okay. Ten of Wands in the past. Well, let's make sure we organize it properly. The Ten of Wands in the past. Ten of Skulls. Okay, you already had a happy home, happy hearth, happy family. So maybe, you know, what I actually saw you doing, you pretty much had to carry a heavy load of many responsibilities because the happy home, happy hearth, happy families, maybe, you know, they got to hold a job and take care of your family. You know, 100% your prerogative in any way, but I just think it's very admirable no matter what. But it's like that you pretty much also had to put a lot of hard work and confidence, to also be contributing to having confidence as well. Because, you know, it's like it takes a lot of energy and time, you know, if you want to rebuild yourself, if you want to go through, you know, a confidence transition, you know, in any way, it always requires a lot of extra time and hard work to actually be completing the happy home, happy hearth, happy family within your own body, your own confidence and stuff like that. But it could also be that you actually had to carry a lot of heavy responsibilities in the past as well. King of Cups reverse, you get the Empress. You're one of your beautiful cards for my beloved Virgos in this world. Okay, there's a bit of lack of clarity, but you pretty much already kind of just thought, you know what? I'm strong and courageous as who I am. I do not need to always have clarity no matter what and stuff like that, because I already have confidence with the Ten of Pentacles, which is one of your beautiful cards. But the Empress already proves how strong and capable, able-bodied, able-minded, you know, because this is all about new beginnings, but this is kind of like thinking, okay, you know, well, this is you in your strong suit of actually saying, okay, you know, we may be dealing with a lot of, you know, like heavy work and all kinds of responsibilities, but that's never going to stop us, even though, you know, our own intuition and senses or even motivation and any kind of, you know, anything, you know, could be, you know, kind of a bit on the downside, stuff like that, but that would never stop you in your beautiful strong suit as the Empress. Wow. Four Pentacles, you got stability because you get the Chariot. Cancer energy, you could even be dealing, or you could even have Cancer somewhere in your star chart. Yeah, you know, I see you incredibly ambitious and goal-oriented because the thing is, you know, I see you heading towards that conflict and competition situation. I mean, whatever it may be. The thing is, you know, it's like I do see that you're incredibly strong and able-bodied because you're also motivated to actually head down towards this transition of whatever it may be because it will take you out of some kind of poverty situation. So whatever this kind of transition or change kind of situation, you know, is going to be like, the thing is, you know, it's like you are incredibly motivated because, you know, you are incredibly confident and you're motivated, which is very important to have these two next to each other on the same row. So kudos and congratulations. I mean, you know, it's like I know that you actually, you know, did something grand in your previous reading and stuff like that. This could still be resonating in current times from the past endeavor voyage that you were more or less embarking on. So Five of Wands, Two of Swords. Okay, what I'm actually getting here is this could also be internal conflicts with yourself because the thing is, you know, you are incredibly motivated to want to get yourself out of some kind of poverty situation, but you could also be struggling with choices and having internal conflicts and competition with yourself as well. Which sword and which path are you going to choose? Well, the thing is, you know, there may not be a right or wrong answer to that question. So the thing is whatever, you know, is contributing to this, you know, this decision in current times, the thing is I don't really think there's anything to worry about because the thing is you know, this, you know, no matter what, you know, you will end out of, you know, yeah, you will leave some kind of like poverty kind of situation, but whatever it may be, you know, it's like it's good to actually, you know, to weigh out the pros and cons to make sure, you know, that the pros outweigh the cons in any way. But if there's a reason why the cons are longer than the pros, then that's also something to look into. Because with choices, if you have the time to be able to choose, you know, rather than having to be, you know, we'll put on the spot and say you only have 5 seconds to choose or we will choose for you, that's always very difficult. But if you are in the process of wherever you're going to be transitioning to or changing to is pretty much, I mean, you know, you could be changing jobs, careers, maybe moving to a different city, state, country, whatever it may be. But yeah, you know, it's like I can understand how any kind of choices that you're currently dealing with could also cause all kinds of internal worries within yourself. With the Five of Pentacles reversed, you get Four of Wands. I mean, this is like, I'm not allowed to show the Four of Wands to you, but actually, you know, the happy home, happy hearth, happy family, but also confidence is contributing to you getting out of this poverty situation. Kudos and congratulations to my beloved Virgos. You guys are realistic, rational thinkers. I mean, I love you guys incredibly. You know, it's like you guys just really have this down-to-earth, this, yeah, this realistic mindset, these feelings, these thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, that's why, whatever, you're going to be choosing, I think it will result in the happy home, happy hearth, happy family with the Four of Wands, but also confidence within yourself to actually say, okay, I know where I'm heading towards, and that's going to also get me out of this, poverty, even, mental poverty of thinking, of lack of confidence and stuff like that. So, despite the sun reversed, you get the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So the thing is, it's like you could also still be juggling many responsibilities, but you don't feel overwhelmed because, you're out of this kind of poverty situation, but now you're going to have to keep going despite feeling like there's no sun shining for you. Okay. Well, soon the moon will shine for you. So that's what I was going to say. And otherwise, whenever the sun is down, the moon is up. So, all the crux of this story, or this reading for now, is just to actually say, okay, sometimes we have to just keep going because we had to overcome a couple of obstacles, battles. We had to, we'll deal with this choice, which could be an internal conflict and battle that you had to overcome, which also contributed to getting out of some kind of poverty situation. But now I see you actually just we're moving forward, saying, okay, now we're just going to keep going and stuff like that, because with the moon, you can have Pisces energy. You get the World, the second World card. Oh my goodness. Yes, the thing is, it's like the moon is up and it's pretty much going to be, guiding you towards, this new path of wherever it's going to be taking you and stuff like that. Because I do see incredibly ambitious and motivated in the future. So the thing is, it's like sometimes you have to kind of change course. Sometimes you have to kind of change paths, ideas. Don't think, oh yeah, the other things are just failed attempts and I'm just a failure no matter what. Never ever consider yourself a failure no matter what. The thing is sometimes we are presented with choices, options, and opportunities because that also helps us grow and develop and stuff like that. Because if you want to head towards a new path, a new voyage, a new destination, wherever it's going to be, you're going to have to change course no matter what. So that's more or less the crux of the story is, change is inevitable, but this change is definitely going to be giving you, a lot more confidence. It's going to help you, will bring, more any kind of insights into this world because you guys are very rational, realistic thinkers. So that's more or less what's also contributing to this new voyage of whatever it may be. For a world upright, okay. The thing is, with any kind of change, anything, you do get the Nine of Swords, which is a nightmare kind of situation. Not saying it could be a nightmare, because with the Page of Swords afterwards, you get the Out of Grails, and that's kind of like a daydreamy kind of card. I don't think there's anything really to worry about. I just think that, this is more or less internal worries and fears about the future of the unknown, because the unknown is scary. I think I mentioned this even to the previous zodiac signs before you, because I think they're all going through some kind of personal transition. So I think this time frame is more or less that everybody's going through some kind of transition of some kind. But I can sense that when you're actually entering into this world, you are incredibly driven and ambitious and stuff like that, but you're also incredibly scared of the unknown. Everybody is scared of the unknown. I was scared about, how, springtime was going to be affecting me when I was during, in December and January times, thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to be heading towards springtime. How is this going to work for me? The thing is, it's like I wouldn't be thinking too much about what the future may hold, because it could be a potential nightmare. But the thing is, it's like I do see, confidence within you. I just, what you could be doing, what I could, for suggestion, is this could also be kind of the transition phase, where you're actually now working towards, all kinds of responsibilities and obligations. But if there's already kind of like alarm signs or red flags that are already taking place during this, like having to balance all kinds of obligations and responsibilities, I would look into those things right now, because this is in current times. So if anything that needs to look like, it could be leading towards a potential nightmare situation, I would work on that right now, rather than wait for the moment able to hit, whether or not it may or may not. But this could also be just uncertainty about the future and stuff like that. So, but for the Page of Swords, you are incredibly ambitious because you are in a daydreaming kind of phase. Okay, maybe this is you trying to actually tell yourself, okay, Virgo, it's like we may be dealing with all kinds of, like maybe potential nightmares and stuff like that. But, we have this daydream that we want to, that's more or less helping us with our ambition on getting out into this world. Whatever this idea child is from the Page of Cups, the Daughter of Grails, this is kind of also like, your intuition is more or less just saying, okay, we could be dealing with a potential, a nightmare situation, but that's definitely not going to stop us from actually getting out into this world. The thing is fear is a common feeling, and everybody's going to be feeling it no matter what. It's never going to be your first or last time no matter what. I mean, everybody experiences things for the first time, but it's never going to be your final time, just like with anything that I deal with. Because the thing is the Daughter of Grails, the Page of Cups, is also kind of like this daydream of thinking, well, it's like on how to get out of this nightmare situation as well. So, but again, my suggestion would be is, in order to avoid any kind of problems, that's why I am your tarot guide reader. I'm not a seer, but I'm just more or less already, telling you what could potentially happen, so you could actually more or less try to mitigate it in current times. Right. Okay, well, let's see what the special vampire card has. Page of Wands. Okay, you're definitely going on this transition journey. Wonderful. You could have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius somewhere in your star chart. But I see you incredibly ambitious and goal-oriented, and you're going to be heading out. The thing is, it's like, you can think about all kinds of fearful scenarios, any kind of negative situations, and actually just say, okay, you know what? I'm not doing anything, because, having to go out into this world is just going to cause me nightmares and all kinds of problems. But you can't ever let fear ever hold you back. I had to learn that more or less my own way, but eventually, I managed to get out of my coffin in my own, solitude phase and just think, okay, I'm going to have to get out somewhere. I cannot just be laying here just doing nothing. So the thing is, when you're about to embark on any kind of new journey, new voice, whether it's traveling, whether it's vacation times, whether it's a transition, a next level, whatever it may be, it's always scary because of the unknown. But you can't always or at all, let fear decide for you to say, oh my goodness, what if this and that happens? Well, the thing is, then there's no kind of development or change and stuff like that. So, and then, you can't grow or live at all. So, so that would be at least my main suggestion for you, is just to get out there and just try to see, what works and what doesn't work and stuff like that. Always just, let your senses guide you and stuff like that, and eventually something is going to work out in your favor. Oracle, Primal, connecting deep within, sacred dance and instinct. So this is pretty much what this card is all about, is let your instincts more or less guide you and stuff like that. It will be primal, be on the hunt, will be incredibly ambitious, goal-oriented, adventurous, and stuff like that, and get out into this world. I mean, if you need to have a break of some kind, if you're going to have to be, dealing with some kind of vacation time and stuff like that, just be incredibly adventurous and stuff like that. If you need to do some kind of like routine or sacred dance, whatever it may be, or anything just to metaphorically will prepare you for getting out into this world, do anything it just takes just to kind of shed off all of that fear, worries, concerns, whatever it may be. Because the thing is, okay, they're there for a reason, because it's always good to actually, foresee the unknown and stuff like that. However, don't let any kind of fear ever hold you back. If you think, oh goodness, I could end up in this, dangerous situation, or this and that could happen, how do you know? It's just only a thought. Is it your intuition? That's more or less, well, pretty much, I mean, if it's your senses and intuition, okay, maybe you have to try something different, but sometimes, your intuition and senses could also be more or less, covered and blocked by fear of thinking, oh goodness, it's like anything could go wrong and stuff like that. Why do I even bother? Well, the thing is, you're not there yet to really experience any kind of negative outcome just yet. So, alrighty, well, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered, because for number 1, you do get a no with the 10 of Swords. A yes with the Ace of Pentacles. And a yes with the second Page of Cups. Okay. Well, my beloved, beautiful Virgos, I'm going to have to leave it at this, but I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. If this reading resonated, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my videos, joining and subscribing to my channels, and going on this beautiful voyage with me. In a few days, I'm going to go back to the love readings. So I'm going to go back and forth between general and love for now, but I want to just thank you guys all so much for supporting and joining me. I love you guys incredibly. If anybody wants to have a personal reading, all you have to do is just post in the discussion box that you want one, and then I'll respond to you with my email, and then we'll more or less get the process going. But I love you guys so much. I think everything is just going to work out, and please don't ever let fear stop you no matter what. But anyway, thank you, and I love you.